your roving reporter, Carl Reiner, here at LaGuardia Airport, awaiting the arrival of a plane load of eminent visitors. Among them, the distinguished marriage consultant and author of that famous bestseller, Happy Though Married. And here he comes now, Dr. Heinrich von Hartzick. Doctor, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you some questions on the subject of marriage.
All right,
Now, Doctor, what do you consider the prime requisite for a happy marriage?
Oh, that's very easy. Truth. Truth is the whole thing. You have to be truthful about your marriage. You cannot base a marriage on lies. You understand it? If, say, supposing you are married and you say to your wife, I'm going to be out late with the boy, you know, I'm not going to work in the office, you know. Tell her the truth. You're going to play poker with the fellas late, you know, and it's going to be like that. Tell the truth all the time. That's the whole thing.
And in this way, you keep a marriage strong and permanent.
No, you follow this, the marriage is finished in 2 weeks. That's all.
I see. Doctor, do you consider it necessary for a married couple to have like interests?
You mean the same interest?
Yes.
Oh, of course. That's very important. Now, supposing you marry an intelligent woman, see, and she likes to go to the opera. You should go to the opera with her. Maybe she likes to go to the ballet. You should go to the ballet with her. Maybe she likes to go to a lecture. You should go to the lecture with her. Maybe she likes to read a book. You should read that book. In other words, if you want to be smart, marry a stupid woman and you don't have all this problem.
Doctor, I understand that a great problem in marriage is keeping the wife at home, keeping her happy, and making sure she doesn't leave. Now, how does one go about doing this?
Well, if you want to keep your wife happy at home, you have to be romantic all the time. You know, you have to come in and say once in a while, you say, darling, you know, I love you, I love you, you know. And if she makes a nice meal, you say, darling, that was wonderful, wonderful, I love you. You know, she knows you love her, but you have to tell it to her once in a while. You know, every 5, 6 years, you say, I love you, I love you. You know? If she likes to hear that, and like this, you know, you keep her happy.
And this way you keep a wife at home.
No, you chain her to the radiator, lock the door up.
Well, Doctor, tell me, is there anything you can do about the most frequent home wrecker we have? Jealousy.
Oh, now you hit the nail right on the head. Oh, that's very important. Jealousy is that destroys the marriage, you understand? That's very low. You see, jealousy is in every man because you married your wife, you thought she was attractive. So naturally she is attractive to other men, you understand it? So you have to realize this and figure it out that it's all right, so you have to face this problem. But face it in modern times, you know, if a man pays too much attention to your wife, all right, he calls her up, you know, and he sends her flowers and others. Call the man up. Call him up and say, listen, I want to talk to you, man to man. Come over to the house, treat him as a friend. Have dinner with him, you know, and smoke a cigar after, a little brandy, talk it over man to man. And when he walks to the door, shoot him in the back.
I see, Doctor. Doctor, what do you consider the most important single factor in keeping a marriage healthy?
Oh, well, you see, monotony is the greatest thing in marriage. See, once a marriage starts to get monotonous, it loses interest, you understand? You see, a man comes home, he has supper, he reads the paper, goes upstairs, goes to sleep, comes down, has breakfast, walks out, same thing over and over every day, you know, I mean, it gets monotonous, you understand? So, what you want to do, I had a pupil of mine, a fellow that worked out wonderful. This pupil of mine, he made life interesting for his wife, you know? He would come up to the door, knock on the house at the door, and the wife would open the door, and he was a French soldier. When he walked in, he said, kissed his wife, he said, the war's over. When he kissed her, and he walked around with her, you know. And the next day, he come up to the house, knocked on the door, he was a policeman. And he said, you're under arrest. And he put handcuffs on his wife, you know, and he walked around the room. And the next day, he come and he knocked on the door, she opened the door, he wasn't there. He jumped through the window, you know, he was a clown. And he tumbled up the place and rumped around. And the next day, he knocked on the door, she opened it, he was a fireman. And he chopped down the door, you know, he chopped up the furniture, and chopped up and he threw water all over the place, and took sand and threw it all over the house. She left and he was a maniac.
Well, Doctor, is there one last thought on marriage that you would like to leave us with?
Oh, yes. Yes. There's an old proverb that we have. It goes something like, yes. Aus den Gräben wird man Auschenstretet van Herzen. Ich kann spielen in der Abend, wie viel Augen sie sich im achten drei. So sehr viel Alten dein Fräulein. Und sie schierfen dein Haupt, sind Bild von der Uhrenfrau. Und wenn dies in der Halbball, so noch du für Uhrenweite der Allwelt, das bebalten von dein Herzen. Sie wippelt beim, so noch bei Baden, da schießt er da im Greifel ab. Und sie wippelt beim Ball, seine Wippeln und Schlösser bereit. Und er fiel bei dein Eifel an den Fräulein und Schlösser bereit. Nach du leben und Schlösser, die Chilen bereit. Und Schlösser, die Wippeln, Straße mit Pausen und Schlösser mit Hals. That's an old proverb, and I don't believe in it.